And that was the Pittsburgh Steelers preseason week 1.
Yeah.
To quote Coach, a little sloppy. Welcome to Six Rings and Counting. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me as always, fresh off his gold medal from Olympic breakdancing, Mr. Lou Willard.
I was so good at it, they eliminated it from the 2028 Olympics.
Nasty. You were so good, I heard you had to have another knee replaced in October.
Absolutely. I'll be doing shows from bedside.
Thank you for your service to your country, sir.
I'll even do a show while the operation is going on.
I don't think anybody. Well,
I need no anesthetics.
Knowing the internet today, there are a lot of people that would love to watch that.
Look, we can go live. Come on down, get the camera out. We go live. Oh, I'm gonna ask you to scrub up first, though. I can't catch none of them cooties you got.
Okay. Full disclosure, though, if I see an open wound, I will throw up in it. So. Let's move on to something a little less surgical, and that was the Pittsburgh Steelers preseason week 1.
Yeah.
To quote Coach, a little sloppy.
I mean, I only saw highlights. I mean, full disclosure, I was on vacation. Took an Alaskan cruise. Amazing. If you haven't been, go. So I just saw highlights. I caught a couple of the press conferences, but it was sloppy. You take away the 2 quarterback center exchange fumbles. Mm-hmm. They're not saying it's sloppy. But you know what? You can't take them away. Those should not happen. You got a 4-year quarterback. You got an experienced center. Man, get the snap together. But other than that,
I excuse the snap with Zach. Zach? Is it Zach
Herbert.
Frazier?
No, Herbert.
I'll excuse that one. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff if you're a Justin Fields fan, as I am, I fully admit I am a Justin Fields fanboy. I want dude to succeed no matter the jersey he is in. I want this young man to succeed to his full potential.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you saw the first fumble, you're like, all right, jitters and getting back under, new team, blah, 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 blah. You're excited to go. That happened. Second fumble, you went. Every hater in the world just went, see, that's what we meant by that. He's not a starter in the NFL. And again, it's not that extreme. That's what haters do. They take it to that next level.
Yeah.
But do you have concern with Justin? Even seeing the highlights, he's slow still getting the ball out on some of his reads. Receivers are waiting for the ball a lot of the times that in this game that I saw. Do you have any concern with him as not necessarily a backup, but just moving forward in the future with the team?
Actually, I do not. Here's the kicker. The thing with Justin Fields is you always want more because everybody saw how dynamic he was at Ohio State. They cannot understand. Those same people cannot understand this is not Ohio State.
Right.
They're not playing Rutgers, Indiana, Minnesota, hell, even Michigan. You take your best college team, you pick the team out of all the college teams. Mm-hmm. You put the all college team together. They could not beat one NFL team.
No. This
is not that. Okay. He's fine. Let him sit this year. This is what I recommend. He sits this year. I think he's a 12-year quarterback for the Steelers because he is. They're not going to be fumbling snaps. The one wasn't even his fault. It never even got to him. Dude snapped it off. Dude snapped it right. He snapped. Sinners do that sometimes. He just snapped it to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens. But Tomlin even said it's a dual issue. 2 people involved in it. 2 grown-ass men getting paid. Mm-hmm. They've been doing this since they were kids. That should never happen on any team. More or less twice. Okay? Unacceptable. But I'm not worried about him and his reads. Yeah, he holds the ball a little long, but guess what you're doing? Everybody clamoring for Russell Wilson. Guess what he does? Holds the ball a little long. Seemed to work for him. Guess what Ben did? Hold the ball way long.
Yes.
2 Super Bowls and got the 3. 1, 2, got the 3. Come on, man. So this kid's going to be fine. He's not a kid. Young man's going to be fine, but he's got to settle in because right now, what people don't understand is he's still pressing too because he knows if it doesn't work in Pittsburgh, it's over.
Right.
Somebody might take him as a backup, but his career as a starter in the NFL, if it does not work in Pittsburgh in 2025, it's over. And I still think Pittsburgh are working a couple of packages for him because of his legs. He didn't run the ball in that first game. And you know what? If I'm him, why would he?
Oh yeah. If I'm the coaching staff, I'm saying I don't care what happens. Don't go outside that pocket.
Throw the ball.
Yeah, just throw it away. Take the penalty if
look,
you have to.
We know you can run.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first preseason game. What we found out of that game is Pittsburgh wants to keep 3 quarterbacks, and they know they got a solid third quarterback.
Yeah, Kyle Allen
looked good.
Yes,
but he looked good against the players that aren't most likely going to make the Texans team.
Yep.
But then the other side of that is he should have looked good against them. The concern would be if he didn't. But he did. So, I mean, well, this is Pittsburgh. It's preseason. You're looking for who can do what here, who can do what there. Peyton Wilson showed well. I think he has 7 or 8 tackles.
Mm-hmm. He looked great.
That's the kind of stuff you're looking for. Wins and losses in these 2 games. Pittsburgh is never, I can't tell you the last time they had a winning season in the preseason.
No. And that's the important thing, I think, to remember with any preseason team. Who gives a shit, pardon my language, about your record? It means nothing. This is all development. And what I saw late in the game, and this is where I'll disagree with Mike, the second batch of guys that came in looked really good. And that's what you want to see, in my mind, out of preseason games. Is you want to see these younger guys go in and just compete. You understand the talent level on the other side of the ball isn't going to necessarily match up to what they'll see. It's not Myles Garrett and, Ward in the backfield.
Yeah.
It's not that.
But at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the same time, that guy that's got to block Myles Garrett isn't out there with the other guys that he was out there with in this game. If he had to go in, he's out there with Pittsburgh starters. So he has more help than he had in that game. So if he's handling his guy, he's doing all you can ask him to do. Yeah. You're not sticking him out there going, oh, yeah, go block Myles Garrett, and we're putting you out there with these other 3rd and 4th stringers. No, because Myles Garrett wouldn't be on the other side. If we sticking you out there with our ones, then you got the block who line up across from you. Exactly. And in this division, that's brutal.
Listen, not every player is going to be Orlando Pace. You're not going to draft them. They're not going to be game ready day one. The development of these guys, and to lose point, if you can do your job against the 3rd string defensive end as a tackle,
there you go.
Then we know we can start to develop you and work with you and see if you can get better because you can at least do the job. You can work the position. And that's what you want to see right now when it's live, when it's fast and it's going. Can you maintain my job? That's what's important.
You're occupying a roster spot. We know we can use you on the field goal team, the punt team, stuff like that, where we don't have to put starters out there or go find another guy to do that because you already know it. So there's a lot of stuff that I look at in these preseason games, especially the first one. Like one of the big issues with Steelers last year was what? Time of possession.
Mm-hmm.
They won the time of possession 31 and some change to 28 and some change. They had 2 fumbles. One they turned over. Well, they had 4 fumbles, but they lost 2. One they turned over. I'm sorry, they lost 1. One they turned over. One they got back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even the one they got back stops a drive. The one they turn over ends a drive.
Yep.
Therefore, you did that and you still won the time of possession. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Penalties was a little high, 6, but it's the first preseason game. I don't recall, like I say, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I don't recall when those came. They could have came with the second and third stringers.
Well,
So
something I know you would have been happy about in this game was the running game.
it's 4.4 yards a carry.
They looked fantastic behind this offensive line. And if anybody was worried about Najee dropping weight and not still having that boomstick, don't worry. He was laying dudes out.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. You if you can average 4.4 yards a carry in the NFL, guess what that is? It's a first down every 3 downs. Who can complain about that?
Yeah, if your quarterback doesn't have to throw the ball, theoretically, what are we even worried about Justin Fields for? You know what I mean? Why are we even having that conversation? This running game looked fantastic. If you are if you're a fantasy football guy, I would be running the table on Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, and hell, I might take a runner on their third guy just in case, because he looked fantastic.
And here's the kicker, though. Like, they average 4.4, right? And Russell Wilson and Justin Fields hasn't started running yet.
Nope.
So now you add that third element into the game where the quarterback is dropping back to pass but takes off running. That counts as a rush. And they have two guys who can run the ball. Russ will get you the first down and get out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Fields will get you the first down and can take it to the house.
Yep.
That's the difference. So all the people worried about Justin Fields, it was his first game too.
Yeah.
He's nervous. He has a lot to prove. That his career's on the line. He has a lot to show. Okay, he fumbled a couple snaps. I fumbled one. The second, I'm sorry, one of them just was not his fault. But when you're a part of the play, it's your fault. No difference. When I ran the ball, if dude hit my elbow with the handoff and I fumbled it, it's our fault. Reach over and get it. But nonetheless, they averaged 4.4 yards a carry behind a reconfigured offensive line, which has turned out to be well. And I know Troy got hurt. He's going to miss a couple weeks. He's not going to play against Buffalo. They were planning to play him, start him at right tackle, and move Broderick over to left and compete with Dan Moore. Dan Moore doing enough to hang on his job. But the thing is, the regular season, he's not coming through. But one of these kids, one of these young dudes, I keep calling them kids because I'm old, but one of these young men are going to have to take his job. Broderick Jones should take Dan Moore's job. And Dan Moore will be a hell of a backup on the left or the right tackle spots.
Mm-hmm.
That saves you a roster spot. But the line, from the highlights, I was able to go back and look at, they look good.
Yeah, they looked really good. Definitely better than last year. And to your point earlier with Russ and Justin both holding on to the ball for a little bit longer than most quarterbacks do, this line looks okay for that style. And the fourth element, too, that we're not including with preseason and the running game and getting Justin involved and Russ involved is also Arthur Smith hasn't even showed his playbook yet. We're seeing basic football stuff, right? Pop Warner kind of stuff right now. So
you're seeing base defenses against base offenses.
Yep.
You haven't seen the package for Justin Fields, which Steelers say, "Oh no, we're playing one quarterback." Look. I'm gonna tell you. You ever seen the meme where the little kid go? The little boy sitting in the car seat go, "Bullshit." That's what I'm calling bullshit. Mm-hmm. How can you let that kid's young man's talent sit on the sideline? Stick him in the game with Russ. There's a million plays you can run out of that. Pitch it to him, he can throw it. You could throw it to him, he can throw it. There's a million things you can do. No way he's just holding the clipboard for 17 games. No, and I don't mean because Russ gets hurt, because obviously I hope he does not get hurt.
No.
And Russ is not going to turn this football over. He's going to be a field general. But I look for a situation, if they get inside the 10 or the 20 ends, I say that. Mm-hmm. There could be a package for Fields to come in, because now you got the RPO. You're going to look a lot like the Ravens. And for people that go, "Oh, the Ravens, you say you hate them." I do. But look, that's respectful hate. I said I hate them. I never said they weren't good. You've heard me praise Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson and that roster on this show which is a Steelers show, which I get some feedback from, but it's okay. They are good. So if we running out there with the same style of offense, guess what a team hate? Look, the teams that run the option, guess what they hate to defend? The option.
Mm-hmm.
Teams that run Baltimore's offense, guess what they hate to defend? Lamar Jackson in that offense. Even though they see it, they hate to defend it. And Justin Fields is the same style of runner, not better, style of runner as Lamar Jackson is. It's going to create havoc on him.
No, it's going to. And I could see Justin holding it for 17 weeks, holding that clipboard for 17 weeks. And then once the playoffs start, now we start to see some trick plays. Now we start to develop some stuff nobody's ever seen before because.
Well, it won't even go 17 games. And I'll tell you when you'll probably start to see it, if not before, that 3 games in 10 days stretch. Right before Christmas, December 15th through the 25th, they play 3 games. He's going to have to play.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some dynamics in there. He's going to have to play. Guys are going to be worn down. You're going to have to get TJ Watt. Cam definitely has to sit a little bit. He won't sit a whole game, but he's going to be sitting at least half a game because, hell, he's in his 30s. That's a lot. To play 1 game a week in the NFL is a lot. Did you play 3 in 10 days? That's brutal. So look for them to use Justin Fields in a significant role in those 3 days. Or I'm sorry, 3 games.
Wouldn't that be great if they played Justin Fields at defensive tackle to replace Cam?
Hey, get his ass. Look, I get what you're going for, but no.
I'm just trying to find guys rest.
They're professionals for a reason. He'll be in at that quarterback to continue drives.
I like it. So basically, you're looking for what the Eagles did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots a couple times. The little Philly special.
Yeah.
Quarterback rolls out, another quarterback will drop it off, or another player will drop it off, yada, yada.
And
those trick plays always work.
But you know what you just described? First downs.
Oh, 100%.
Like in this game, Pittsburgh had 19 first downs. That's not enough. The reason they had 19, because you fumbled once, killed that drive, fumbled the other one, and lost it. You need to average 5 to 6 first downs a quarter. If you do that, what does that mean? It means 2 things. Time of possession and points, unless your kicker miss or you don't score a touchdown. Boz isn't going to miss. He's a top 5 kicker in the league. Clearly, the number 1 kicker. I know people is Justin Tucker. Get mad if you want to. That is just a bad argument that you're trying to make if you can't admit that Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the league. But nonetheless, we have a top 5 kicker. Boz is not going to miss. He's definitely not missing in Pittsburgh. So if you can get first downs, you control the clock, you get 5 or 6, you got points coming. And that's what's going to win you these games. These games are going to be tight, especially as the injuries start to pile up. The AFC is going to be tight. There's going to be a lot of fourth quarter games in the AFC. You know, NFC as well. I mean, they have enough teams that to really do something. The NFC North is going to be good. You know, NFC North is going to be good. But you know, and NFC East, these games are going to be good. You got to have every element of the game. So where Pittsburgh needs to improve from what I saw after the first game too, you gave up 166 yards, return yards on special teams. Can't have that, especially with the new kickoff rule. They better fix it. So, and they will. They'll fix it. It's new to everybody.
I know you just saw the highlights, but the one thing, and I know we touched defense briefly, but the one thing I did notice, and CJ Stroud played, just for the record, Tank Dell played for the record, so you did have some of their starters going.
And this was their second game.
Yes. However, they chewed up the secondary.
Yeah.
Did you see any reason for concern? I know that was our other big question mark on the season. It was the offense, mainly receiver, and then moving over toward defense, the secondary. Did you see any cause for concern in the secondary, or is this just kind of a thing?
From what I see, Steelers are going to sit in the base defense, and Texans know it, and they have an all-pro quarterback in Stroud. They have a really good receiving core. Yeah, hell, they have a really good team. Just put it like that. Eliminate all the other conversation. They'll pick it apart. That's okay. Steelers aren't showing anything. I'm not worried about it. They said Corey Trice is having a really good camp. I believe that if he can step up, we're good with Deshaun Elliott, and obviously Porter's your one. They'll be just fine with the two safeties. I'm not worried about that. You're running the base defense against C.J. Stroud. He'll pick any team apart.
Fair point.
He ate Cleveland's defense up, who I have said is a top, if not the best defense in the league, a top 3 defense in the league. He ate them up in the playoff game.
Yes, he did.
So what's he going to do against your base defense in a preseason game? He did exactly what he's supposed to do.
Fair.
So it's no cause for concern. And again, it matters. Even though a lot of those guys did not play in their Houston's first game, a lot of those guys did. And that was their second game where Pittsburgh was rolling out with their first game.
Right.
Makes a difference.
No, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. So we got about 5 minutes left here. We got the Bills coming up on Saturday, the 17th. What do you expect to see from this game? What do you look for in the second week of preseason?
I mean, it's more consistency, lack of turnovers, better special teams. We got to reduce the return yards on special teams. I mean, 166 is a lot. That's a field and a half in a game. I mean, those are points you're giving up. You can't give up 166. I like to see the rushing average stay above 4. If you can keep your rushing average above 4, and then clearly the elephant in the room is we all want to see what Russell Wilson can do if he plays. Tomlin initially came out and said Russ is starting week 2. Now he's backing off of it. He's got to see the tape. Then you got to feel how Russ feels. Russ isn't a guy that it wouldn't worry me if he didn't play this week or the third week and just rolled out week 1. He's been around long enough.
That was going to be my question, because Mike has come out and said there is no quarterback controversy here. There is no battle. No. Russ is the starter, period, point blank. Even before the fumbles Justin had or was involved in.
Yeah.
Russ is the starter. So with Russ having that calf injury, going into this Bills game, you got one more preseason game after that. Do you even care outside of maybe getting him just working with that first team more? Is it a big deal?
He's working with him every day in practice. He's 35 years old. There's no putting a red jersey on him in the game. You stick him in the game, they can light his ass up if somebody miss a block.
It's that simple.
It's like, I get why they stuck Burrow out there, Josh Allen. Those guys, they're younger. Yeah. They're younger. They could take a hit or two. Russ, 35. He needs to get a couple reps. I like to see him get a couple reps, but keep in mind, unless I could be completely wrong, and I'm sure somebody will correct me, they have a couple of practices against the Bills before they play them this week.
I think so, yeah.
So Russ will get his reps then. He don't have to get it just because my ass sitting in the stands to see it. You know what I mean? That it doesn't matter when he get them in practice. And guess what he can do in practice that he can't do when he walk in that stadium? He could put a red jersey on. They don't hit each other's quarterbacks during those group scrimmages.
Yeah.
So
and the last thing you want is Russ taking that hit right now.
Or Justin Allen taking that hit from TJ Watt and Highsmith and Hayward. You can't have that if you're the Bills.
No.
You cannot have that. Why would you have that? Allen is a top 3 quarterback, arguably. Top 5, not arguable.
Yes.
Top 5, guaranteed. Top 3, arguable. Why would you want him out there taking too many hits? But yeah, he'll get a couple series, he'll get some reps, because that's what they'll do. But the same thing with Russ. Get out there, see how that calf is, and they can see that in the joint practices. Because Buffalo's going to bring it. They're just not going to hit him. So what
makes total sense.
Yeah,
Makes
and I
total
love to
sense.
see that running game average, 4 yards a carry. I'd like to see the receivers keep improving. They did a hell of a job, but we'll find out about this Brandon Ayuk thing. Everybody's asking questions about it. No one knows the answer. I read the Steelers deep insiders. They don't know. They have great information, but they don't know either. So it's
Yeah.
going to be either by the end of this week or probably not going to happen.
Yeah, no, everything I'm hearing. Sorry, there's a fly in my office right now. I'm pretty sure it's Kenny Pickett. It's like, dude, you're not on the team. You're not coming on the show. Go away. Go away. Stuff your grievances, pal. Yeah, on the trade talk, it seems like the 49ers are just asking way too much. And from what I'm hearing, real quick to wrap the show, from what I'm hearing, now the Steelers and Omar are starting to look at CeeDee Lamb because of his frustrations in Dallas and trying to see what Dallas might want for him. Now, I will say this, and you can give me a 1-minute answer afterwards because we're totally running out of time. I would not give up George Pickens and a pick for Brandon Ayuk. I would give up George Pickens and a pick for CeeDee Lamb. Am I wrong?
Agreed. No, agreed.
Well, there you go. That's the first time there's ever been an agreement on this show. We're going to get out of here. Speaking of asses in the seats, as we round out, our man about town, Lou Willard, is going to be at the Steelers home opener, September 22nd, as a guest of the Rooney family. So if you are in the area, if you're a fan of the show, you're a fan of Lou's, make sure you stop by the tailgate and say hi to him. For Lou Willard, I'm Corey Idle. This is Six Rings and Counting. We'll see you next time.